Hello guys, so let us learn today about special radiographs in surgery. So this is, you can say, CT and mammography machine. So mammography is, you can show craniocaudal view and mediolateral oblique view. So our right. And these are the nomenclature, and this is the suspicious area which is under evaluation. So architectural distortion, dense mass with spikes, microcalcification, reproduction, etc. can be seen. So sensitivity increases with age as breast becomes less dense. So this is very important thing. You should know why mammography is more indicated in older age. So views can be craniocaudal view or the mediolateral view. The wider scoring is also very important in this. The full form you should be remembering: breast imaging reporting in the data system, that is BIRADS, and when it is more than 4 or equal to 4, you have to suspect malignancy. Digital mammography or tomography are newer varieties and are useful. Screening mammography more than 35 years it is should be done, and 35 years if it is having the high risk, that is the patient. Diagnostic mammography done in the patient with existing symptoms. So this is the picture of MRCP. This is the gallbladder cystic duct, left hepatic duct, right hepatic duct, common hepatic duct, and they join to form the common bile duct opening in duodenum, and this is the pancreatic duct. So this is done to see the hepatobiliary anatomy, you can say. Indications of getting MRCP are obstructive jaundice, pancreatitis, cholangiocarcinoma. Diagnostic modalities is, it is a diagnostic modality, and because contrast is not required, is very safe. Bile act as the contrast in this. This can be a question. Images are comparable to ERCP, but definitely intervention cannot be planned with MRCP, and it is excellent modality for biliary tree anatomy. Now T-tube cholangiogram is also another investigation, that is special investigation in which contrast is used. So this is the T-tube cholangiogram. The contrast is going into the duodenum, you can say. So diagnostic modality, again it is a diagnostic modality done under fluoroscopic guidance, and contrast uses urographin. Post-operative procedure it is, and it can be done to check the residual bile stones. Also it can be done to check biliary leaks, also for distal blockade. Also the important thing that should be remembered is it is done on the 10th post-operative day, not before that, because the practice is not mature. The barium studies are also important. Barium swallow is one thing which is done to visualize the esophagus. Barium meal is done to visualize the stomach and the duodenum. Barium follow through is done to visualize the small intestine. Small bowel enema is a thing in which the tube is passed through the esophagus till the first part of duodenum, and the barium is given. This is done to visualize the small bowel. The barium enema is one thing to visualize colon in the rectum. Single contrast is for outlining the GI tract, that is barium. Double contrast is when you also pass the air. It is done to see the mucosal pattern. The contraindications of upper GI series are definitely, obstruction, maybe of large or small bowel. Upper GI series include barium swallow, barium meal follow through. Lower GI series, it has barium enema. Barium sulfate is the best contrast material for GI series. It is radio opaque, it is non-toxic, it is water insoluble, it is inert. If perforation is suspected, we use soluble enema, and that is gastrography. Now barium swallow is this. You can see the esophagus. There is texture in that, or you can say corkscrew esophagus, whatever is that. So it can be visualized in you can say barium swallow, and diffuse esophageal spasm causes corkscrew esophagus. Smooth tapering of terminal esophagus is Birdwig sign. So achalasia cardia can be there. So this is most probably achalasia cardia. Now irregular filling defects of mid or terminal esophagus will be seen in carcinoma esophagus. Barium meal is, that for stomach. Barium will follow through for small bowel. Barium enema for, you can say, colon, the rectum, the sigmoid colon, descending, transverse, ascending colon, and you can see also the part of cecum. KUB. In KUB, retrograde urography is very important thing. So the dyes pass through the urethra, and you can see the contrast going retrogradely. So urethral structure is seen in RGU. If visualizing ureter and the collective system of the kidney, it is called RGP. Retrograde meaning contrast goes in opposite direction in relation to the normal passage of urine, that is from urethra to the kidney. Indications are structures, urethral trauma to look for false passes. Intravenous pyelography is another modality. So you can see the kidney, the ureter, the urinary bladder. So there is less contrast going. So there is some pathology on the right side. You can see also called intravenous urogram. So IVP is also called IVU. To know, it is done to know the size, shape of urinary tract and collective system, can tell about the function of the kidney. Also, indications are kidney stones, tumors, uritic strictures. In Waka for hematuria, it is also done. Dye is inducted into the right, right or whichever arm vein, radial or brachial. The series of X-rays are taken at pre-contrast phase, immediate, that is nephrogram phase. After 5 minutes, that is secretory phase. After 15 minutes, that is calyceal distension. After 30 minutes, that is the urogram phase. After 45 minutes, that is cystogram phase. And the post-voyage film, that is the residual urine. CT versus MRI. There are some points which are important to you. CT is combined tomography axial, so CAT. MRI is magnetic resonance imaging. CT uses X-ray. You know that is it is having radiation. It is faster scanning. It has faster scanning time and it is having high resolution also. MRI uses magnetic field. So no exposure to harmful radiation. It takes longer time. Almost same resolution is there. MRI scans are best suited for looking at the soft tissue such as ligaments and the tendons and the brain. CT is better than MRI in looking at the lungs, detecting certain bone injuries also. So this is the CT, this is the MRI. So to determine right or left side of the body, same convention is used, which is applied as an X-ray. The images are oriented as if we stand in front of the patient and the patient is facing us. There are three planes, axial, transverse sections are there in axial plane. The sagittal, it is perpendicular to the axial, divide the body into right and the left half. The other section is coronal section, it is perpendicular to the axial body and divide the body into the anterior and the posterior half. CT, in CT, if we specifically say air looks black, the brain parenchyma gray and the skull white. So you can see air is black, this brain parenchyma gray and the bone is white. So this is important. You should remember CT images are required only in the axial plane. The axial data set then can be used to reconstruct images in the other planes. MRI can be acquired in any plane, not just axial. And T1 weighted and T2 weighted are the types of MRI. You can say T1 weighted shows water as dark and structures containing fat relatively bright because they obviously contain some water. But T2 weighted structures have high amount of water and they appear white. So thank you so much. We'll be next.